Hey everyone, it's Angelica Allen here. I am a stage 3 biocancer and a quantum health coach, and I help my clients to change their physical and emotional habits so they can achieve peak performance and emotional mastery. Today, I'm going to be talking about something that I changed very early on after my cancer diagnosis, which was stop eating refined sugar altogether. And I want to talk about how you can break your sugar addiction. Now, I didn't see myself as a sugar addict at all. But guess what? I ate way too much sugar. I think the World Health Organization talks about, the limit of kids being 3 teaspoons of sugar a day, women 6 teaspoons of sugar a day, and men 9 teaspoons of sugar a day. In one soft drink, you would have between 9 and 10 teaspoons of sugar, and then you have, things like sauces, treats, chocolate, you name it, right? Juices that you buy, from bottles. I mean, there is sugar everywhere. And I'm not going to lie to you, breaking the sugar addiction, it's not an easy task, especially if you think that sugar it's not really impacting your life, right? It's that sugar is not really that you're not a sugar addict like myself. It's not until you start really looking into how much you are intaking sugar by default that you realize that in actual fact you've been eating way too much sugar. I am traveling around Australia with my family, and we've been going to different supermarkets as we go. And the other day I was in the supermarket and I was looking for uh, beans and tomatoes tins, so I could, because we eat mostly a plant-based diet, so I could have it to make our food in case like of an emergency and things like that. And I saw that, the brands that I normally buy where we are, they were not available. So I needed to look for a different brand. And all the brands had sugar added to them in tins of vegetables. So, I'm talking about tins of tomatoes, tins of butter beans, tins of lentils, tins of kidney beans, tins of four beans mix, whatever. And I just could not believe it that they added sugar to it. And I'm thinking to myself, why do they do that? Right? So I found a brand that didn't have any sugar. I bought that. And I thought to myself, no, this is crazy, because people are intaking that little bit of sugar there and they don't realize that. And when you start looking at like tomato sauce, the same thing, the tomato sauce that we buy, it wasn't available, so we buy an organic tomato sauce. So I saw one that had 50% less sugar and salt. So I said to my son, would you mind trying this one? And I looked at the labels and looked at the numbers, and it indeed had half of the sugar intake, in the bottle, which is massive. Okay, in 1 teaspoon of, let's say tomato ketchup, you're looking to, probably about a teaspoon of sugar too, in a normal one. Okay, so it's just those little things, barbecue sauce that I used to eat, um you know juices, I make my own juices. I would never buy juice from a bottle which has, the same amount of sugar as a soft drink. Anything that comes from packages, like, foods that are already prepared, they add sugar to, things like, even like things like hummus, um pesto, different sort of like, you know jars that have already like a sauce pre-made. Everything has sugar added to it. So if you're trying to really cut down on your sugar, or break your sugar addiction, you know that, you are addicted to sugar, you're eating too much sugar and you want to cut down. I would highly recommend that you start looking at the ingredients of what you buy. I mean, they add sugar to Weet-Bix, um, which is, the healthiest form of cereal. um, you know it's insane when you start really looking into the ingredients when you are going around the supermarkets and choosing what you want to buy. So that is one thing that you can start cutting down, because they're the little bits of sugar that you don't realize that you are having. But if you cut that down, you're helping your sugar addiction, right? What happens is sugar is highly addicted because it gives us a high, and the more we do that, the more our body's craving for that high. In the same way as we have a high with when or people are jumping off a parachute and having that kind of adrenaline rush, and the release of the cortisol hormones, and feeling like this is great. You can see kids after when they go to parties and they eat a lot of sugar, they are like wired. That happens to us, but we notice less and less, especially if you're constantly eating that kind of food. So really getting rid of the hidden sugar intake, it would be really helpful already, because you need to start changing your palate. Once you start craving just sugary things, it becomes like this snowball effect, and all you do is you crave sugary things. So what you want to try to do is really to change your palate, change your taste buds, change, what you really like, treat yourself like a kid again, So once you cut down on those things. So for me, it was very much, it's very easy, not have any like sauces bought in jars, no tomato sauce, barbecue sauce, none of that. No juices in bottles. I didn't drink any soft drink. And then you can start, cutting down on the stuff that you buy in packages, like, biscuits. I make my own biscuits. I know this is a little bit more work, but there is an enormous amount of sugar in everything that you buy in packets. Okay, so you need to really think about it. By the time you add to everything else that you're eating, it's adding an enormous amount of it. So, those are the things that, you can eat a piece of fruit instead, which has fruit, which has, natural sugar, but it's natural. Okay. And I love when people say to me, like, oh, but you eat fruit, so you eat sugar then. And I always like to say to them, stop eating everything that you buy from packages, and you only eat fruit, and see what's going to happen with you, with your body, with your weight. Okay. So I'm at the best shape of my life. I'm 43 years old. Not because I exercise hard, it's because I eat a diet that is mainly based on foods that come from the ground. They don't come from packages. I cook everything from scratch. Yes, it takes a lot of work, but being sick takes a lot more work, and I can vouch for that. So if you are in that journey, and if you're wanting to, put some effort and time into your health, I have a free menu on my website that you can have a look at some of the, little treats that I make that don't have any refined sugar added to it. Some of my recipes as well that, again, I don't add any kind of shop bought sauces or anything like that. So, and also things like, I cook like all my treats with things like bananas and dates, without the refined sugar. So anything that you can cut down completely on adding the refined sugar, for me was very much adding sugar to my coffee. I stopped that straight away. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking like, oh my God, it's too hard. Well, it is hard if you think it's going to be hard, but if you want to let go of an addiction, if you wanted to stop being, like, a slave of, the sugar, if you don't want the sugar to have a hold on you, which is the same as the cigarette, the drug, the alcohol, then the only way to go about it is to take action and stop adding the refined sugar, because it's scientifically proven that sugar is addictive. So, for me, it was very much cutting down completely on the hidden sugars that I didn't see. So, looking at the ingredients, if there is sugar added, look for a brand that doesn't have any sugar added. Second, cutting down on the added sugar. You're actually adding sugar into your, coffee or drinks or whatever you're doing. That's going to be really helpful. And three, make your own treats, with things like banana and dates, so you can actually know that everything that you're having, yeah, they do have a natural sugars in it, but they're adding nutrients into your body, right? The banana has potassium. There is a load of goodness in everything that is grown in the ground, and there is no goodness in the sugar that is made. So this is really a decision that you want to be making in every meal, in every snack, in every choice that you are making. Before you know, you start changing your taste buds, and you start changing what you like. And sometimes when you eat something, you're like, this is just too sweet for me, I don't want to do this anymore. Okay. Hopefully you like this video. Hopefully it's helpful to you. A few easy things for you to implement. If you like to check it out, my free menu, check it out on my website. There is a link below. And I also have a course, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life, which is 5 different habits that will completely transform how you feel physically and mentally as a result of that as well, and improve your sleep and focus. Because I really believe that the food is the foundation of our bodies, mind, and soul, in the sense that, food is, if you are eating the right foods, you are bound to feel so much better physically and emotionally. Less sugar is less inflammation and less issues that you have in your body. It's less mental health issues as well. Okay, because if you have any sort of like anxiety or HDG or any focus problems, sugar will be impacting on that massively. And the minute that you start reducing your sugar intake, that's going to be extremely helpful for you. And exercise cannot counterbalance that, because the sugar is in your gut. I know that because I had bowel cancer. So I needed to create a different gut environment. I needed to create a healthier environment here. And if you cut out the sugar, the refined sugar, you start giving yourself a much better chance to creating a healthy environment in your gut. So if you're interested in course, Change Your Habits, Change Your Life, there is a link below as well that you can check it out. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.